you're listening to She Shield, your one-stop pod for all topics personal safety. I'm your host, Sofia, and my goal is to help educate women and men on concealed carry, martial arts, and all topics self-defense. But honestly, at this point, we've had so many more topics. We've had competition shooting, people talking about off-roading, overlanding, grappling. So it's basically a catch-all at this point, and I couldn't be happier to be here for it. But before we start today, please take a moment to rate the podcast. I think about 50 of you have gone on to Spotify to rate, and I appreciate that so much. I know that when I start a new podcast, seeing the ratings always makes me feel more confident to start listening, because it's kind of a commitment to start listening to a new one. So for those of you that have done that, thank you so much. If you haven't, just takes a few seconds. Please head over there now. This episode is sponsored by Big Tech's Ordnance, your soon-to-be favorite retailer for all of your firearms needs. BTO believes in only selling high quality gear for responsibly armed citizens, as well as providing pre- and post-sale support. BTO values firearms training and supports firearms instructors nationwide. They even pay for their own staff to train with high-level instructors to ensure that when you as the consumer reach out, you are taken care of. Well, hello.
Hi.
I'm so glad we're here. I am sitting here with Lena Miculek. We are in Nashville, Tennessee. It has been a while since Lena has been on the show. When we first met, it was actually through She Shield. I had pestered her for a while to come on the pod, and she she got back to me, we got to record, and now we're good friends. It's crazy how time works.
Yeah. Not only good friends, but now we work together.
Yes.
We've traveled together, and now we've hit Nashville together. So
we have hit Nashville together.
We've kind of done it all now. So
absolutely.
What a fun storyline
so
for
much
us. Fun. And now we're doing your first live in studio podcast.
Exactly.
Right before I run to the airport.
Yes.
So we're cramming
right before.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Exactly. Right before she runs to the airport, right before Lisa and I leave for the tactical games this coming weekend.
First tactical game.
So excited about that. But we're lucky enough to all have this get together, and we got to experience downtown Nashville. That was my first true experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So did you have fun? What did you think of it?
So fun.
Yeah.
Only because of you guys. I am not the socialite between Lisa and you. I'm like an eighth of it. So it was perfect because I could just ride y'all's social energy out onto the dance floor. But that was phenomenal. I needed a good 16,000 steps of dancing.
Exactly. I kind of ride Lisa's social energy, so I get that. I love that. And you got to sign, do some autographing.
I got to sign my first chest, and it was on the dance floor. So that was super fun. I loved that. I now want to keep a tiny Sharpie with me. Sophia and I guess it's not a shock now that I think about it, but the first place we went to have dinner, the security guard recognized me, and I talked to him. The second place we went, the security guard recognized Sophia, and then the third place we went, I signed a lady's chest on the dance floor, and she was like, "We're your Canadian fans, the three of us." So it was fun. Nashville, hi, you're watching.
Yeah, exactly. They were so excited. It wasn't just her; it was a group of guys. They all came up and got
told me they were my 3 Canadian fans. I didn't bust that bubble and say there's a couple more.
definitely more fans. That's so funny though.
They're the only ones I've shared the floor with.
That's a good point. That was lovely. That was so much fun. I felt a little bit like your bodyguard, not gonna lie, because there were a lot of people that I think recognized you, but maybe were too nervous to say hello.
She's great.
And I love me some eye contact. So
I'm just out there dancing just in my own little world, and I look over and Sophia's talking to someone, and I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. And they're looking over at me and then talking. Sophia makes so much eye contact that they just approach her like she's my security. And they did it the first time, and the dude came up and was like, "Hi, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Who is that?" And then she was real protective, "Why do you want to know?"
Yes.
Why do you want to know who that is?
Right. He was like, "What's her last name?" I was like, "Why do you you want to know?
Yeah. What's up?
Exactly.
Why do you need to know this?
He was like, I think I know her. And I was like, maybe, probably. And he was like, Miculek? And I was like, yes. What's the magic word?
And then he came back up to take a photo, and he once again went to her to like ask permission. So I appreciate the like
body posture.
Yeah, the body posture and the eye contact that everybody's like, ma'am, may I speak to the other one? And you're like,
the other one.
Maybe. What are your intentions?
Yes, for sure. And like, I feel like Lisa and I's presence too, like we're both 5'10". We were just like, we almost created this like doorway between you. So
I loved it. It was the best way I could have experienced in Nashville.
Absolutely. It was so much fun. Well, let's talk about what you've been up to. We talked about this pre-recording, like how far back do we go? Because that was what, 2022? Yeah. So as far as lately, let's zoom in to maybe the last 6 months, whatever you're feeling. Highlights. Let's do highlights.
I say that, and let me think about what my highlights are. Highlights. ROSE has continued to expand. One of the most exciting things was bringing on live fire training for public registration, because before that, ROSE's live fire training was only available through the retreats, which is like a multi-day, a bigger price tag, and it's more of a lifestyle experience than live fire training. And I really wanted to be able to bring extremely high quality training to the masses. So I got to launch ROSE at Shoot Sig, which I got to then reach out to Sofia to see if she'd be interested in being an assistant instructor. So Sofia, Haley, and Sheila, all across the U.S., fantastic ladies. I got the three of y'all together. We did some training, and now you get to assist me on these classes. And we did our first one in June, and we have our next one coming up in just a few weeks in Reno, and much more to come as ROSE continues to evolve. It's so awesome to be able to work with y'all and share the range, and y'all are all just really great, and I'm so glad I found y'all.
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you for making me part of that. I love that team. Before the firearms industry, I worked in healthcare for a little bit, and I learned the importance of having a good group of people to show up and do work with, and how important that dynamic is, and how much it can change just your quality of life. So the fact that you brought 3 strangers together under you, and we all work together so well. I mean, I've bonded with Haley and Sheila in like my own way, each of them, and then the 3 of us together work
y'all
so
are
well.
A powerhouse together.
I have no idea how it happened.
It was great.
It's awesome. Yeah.
And then our first event, it's first one, always a little nervous, but freaking y'all kicked butt. So now it's just a matter of, I'm excited for in the future, seeing where ROSE can continue to expand in supporting the customer with y'all, because it's been kind of a solo thing. I'm the only one that can talk to the brand. I'm the only one that can teach on behalf of the brand. I'm it. So you can only reach so many people when you're just one. So I'm so excited that I was able to find y'all. Y'all really proven yourselves, and y'all are like hungry to do more, and so excited to support women on the range, off the range, anything as far as firearms go. So that'll be really cool.
Absolutely.
More to come.
Absolutely. And I think what's great is none of that takes away from one-on-one time with you. You are so good at traveling down the line and spending quality time with each woman. I don't see that a lot in classes. I've been in classes where the assistant instructor was like the person I bonded with the most, because the main instructor didn't have time for me. And looking back, of course, I can appreciate that there was only so much time, but you make a great effort to make sure each woman leaves feeling like they spend time with Lena Miculek.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things I'm the most proud of for these live fire classes, these ROSE at Shoot Sig events, is our student to instructor ratio. I mean, our Reno event, we cut the class size down to 10. So you have 10 students to 4 instructors. Like, that's an insane amount that's an insane ratio, but it's exactly what I wanted, because I want everyone to be able to connect with an actual instructor, be able to ask them all the questions, be able to have hands-on time. And with my teaching approach of there's no right answer, it's just the best answer for you, there has to be that time to take the student into consideration, because otherwise the only thing you have time for is to like have the cookie cutter mold that you're trying to shove people through. But I mean, we're all about taking in your physical strengths, your mental strengths, avoiding any like injuries or just things that aren't comfortable, and just like wherever you are, figuring out how to help you take the next step. And it's proven that, guess what? Custom answer is the best answer. So being able to have this high student to instructor ratio allows that. So even though it's a half-day class, 3 hours on the line, live fire, and then an hour to an hour and a half doing the shoot SIG event, you walk away with so much instructor time. Because especially if you're coming to firearms for the first time, or you're trying to overcome a fear, or just you want to feel comfortable on a shooting line and you've never been there, being able to go at a slower pace, have someone to be like, hey, take my hand, I got you, can be a game changer. So I'm glad that it's evolved the way that it has. I'm really proud of those events, and they're fun.
Oh yeah, so much fun. Yes, you absolutely should be proud. Yes, and to second that, I think one of my favorite things you do from the very start of the class is ask the students to be skeptics and prove your ways to themselves. So not just take your word for it, because truly and honestly, you have the credentials to be like, just take my word for it. Everyone would be like, yeah, duh. But you still go the extra mile to ask people to prove themselves of those things. And it's actually bled into my training. So any training I've done recently, I've taken that mentality. I just went to the Combative Association Summit. I took that mentality and I made that work for me. So when we started going from cooperative to competitive grappling, for example, I had to apply principles for myself to see if what the teacher was telling me worked for me, especially when there was a size difference for like the training partner I had. I had a dude that was like 6'4", 270 compared to me. I'm pretty tall, pretty muscular, but dude was still big, okay? Yeah. So it's the same concept. Like I had to prove it to myself to work. And even though these people are, high up per se. So absolutely love that. Would you mind taking us through kind of like a breakdown of what the Shoot SIG or Shoot ROSE class looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So 3 hours on the range. In those 3 hours, I cover my foundation to pistol shooting, which is really taking a deep dive into figuring out how you can utilize what you have to work with. The smaller you are, the more you have to rely on technique, because you can't just muscle your way through things. And automatically, as a woman, whether we like it or not, a dude our same exact size has 20 to 30% more upper body strength. So like, okay, even though their answer and their technique might be proven and super good, that doesn't mean that's still the right answer for you. It doesn't mean that my answer is the right answer for you, but mine's more of like a decision tree to find the answer instead of this is the way. So we figure out how to use literally everything from our toes to our fingertips to help us achieve our goal of shooting. Because like the mini hands make light work. The more of you can use in shooting, the easier shooting is. And if you're just trying to hold on to that gun, you're swimming upstream, and a lot of time you don't even realize you're in the river and you're getting swept away, and then you just feel like shooting's not for me. And that's not true. So we figure out how to use our bone structure, our body mass. We figure out how to avoid muscle, because even if you are jacked and you have a lot of muscle, if you rely on it for your shooting technique, it has a timeout. Like, I want to shoot forever. I don't ever want to have to stop shooting. So it's like using muscle as like an icing on top. And then we talk about, vision, and then we work pretty much one-on-one. We help you find a unique stance that utilizes you the best it can. We confirm grips, and then we work through a few shooting drills after we work through the mechanics of firearms, because this class is for, I would say, beginner to mid to I've never shot before to mid. Mid-range shooter. You will walk away with a lot of stuff. So yeah, we go through our shooting drills, and then we take a moment to prepare you for Shoot Sig, which is a 3-stage just for fun competition. And the stage is already set, so it's not a surprise. It's not like USPSA. You're not moving. You're using all loaner guns. The class, everything is supplied. Guns, ammo, eyes, ears, uplulas, snacks, water, sunscreen, enthusiasm. Like, we bring it all. You just gotta show up. So the same thing happens at Shoot Sig. But over there, you have the opportunity, if you would like, to try different SIG guns. Also supplied, ammo supplied, and then in your small groups, your instructor demos each stage and supports you through them. And then you rotate, and then you're done. And then hopefully you leave with a lot of info, a lot of self-belief, because you just did a whole lot in a half day, and you got even to dabble in the world of competitive shooting, which, if you're like, competitive shooting isn't for me, if shooting for personal protection is for you, competitive shooting applies a lot of pressure that you would not experience anywhere else, that can really help you understand how you would work in a stressful situation. So even if you're like, competitive shooting isn't for me, I would love for you to dabble in it, especially in a small group with the assistant of an instructor, to like see how you will react. Because man, that buzzer and that line, and even though everyone's there to support you and cheer you on, and there's like nothing you could do that we haven't seen or that we would be like, woo, about, you're gonna kind of freak out on the line. And it's something that you just need to experience.
Yes, even as an assistant instructor, if I demo, I freak out a little bit. I walk away learning something from every class, especially because I get to help different women, but also just from listening to you, something will stick out every time. I'm like, oh, I have been having issues with this particular part of my grip. And no, it's actually super helpful. Like, yeah, it never gets old. I love how Sheila, Haley, and I are always just like hanging on your every word, because we all know that we're going to get something from it, even as the assistants. So,
and also the fun thing about being an instructor is that even if the information isn't relevant for you, you will eventually find someone that it is relevant for. So it's like, as an instructor, you build yourself up the best you can. And then once you're like satiated, it doesn't mean you stop learning, you stop trying to like retain information, because you're going to be addressed with more problems than you ever had. Because you're going to address so many different body types, so many different goal sets, everything. So it's just like, your toolbox is filled up, and then you're like, oh, let me get another one. Let's start packing this one. This one's for everybody else.
Right. Instructor toolbox.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta have it all. You gotta have it all.
Are you ready to step up your shooting game? Introducing Walkers Inc., the pioneers in ear protection for shooting, hunting, and commercial applications. For over 25 years, they've been revolutionizing the industry, ensuring your hearing safety and enhancing your shooting experience. Anytime I'm on the range, indoor or outdoor, I use Walkers ear protection to have crystal clear communication with my fellow shooters. I personally use the disruptors for outdoor shooting and the recons for my indoor shooting adventures. Not only does it protect your hearing, but it also protects you. Being able to communicate with others on the range is vital to personal safety. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your safety when the ultimate goal is better self-protection. With Walkers, you'll experience unparalleled comfort, unmatched innovation, and the industry standard in shooting ear protection. Don't settle for anything less when it comes to your safety and enjoyment on the range. You can save on Walker's ear protection and support the podcast by using code SHESHIELD20, that's SHESHIELD 20 at checkout. Again, that's SHESHIELD20 at checkout.
So, yeah, that's ROSE Shoot Sig. It's super fun.
Absolutely. And I'm going to link all of the information for anyone listening that wants to learn more. Of course, this is the best way you can learn here. But if you would like to see maybe some dates coming up, I know right now they're only on Practice Score, correct? Or is it?
No, you don't sign up through Practice Score. You can look up Shoot Sig dates, but the ROSE ones are announced one at a time. So there's no running list. So you can be on the ROSE Instagram, the ROSE Facebook, or in the community community, and they'll be announced there. And that's the easiest place to stay up to date. If you just want to try a Shoot Sig event, you can just Google a Shoot Sig event, and there will be the entire year's location. And once again, it's like a super awesome and really fun way to get out on the range. And the Shoot Sig event, if you show up to do it, it only takes 45 minutes to shoot through this 3 stages. So it's not a weekend event that's going to take up your whole weekend. Right. And you can do it as many times as you want and use as many different guns as you want. And they have a whole plethora of them out there for you to choose from.
Absolutely. That's one of my favorite parts, because it's always nice to see what SIG is coming out with. But yes, so I don't know why I thought that was through Practice Score, but I will have the link linked in the description, or the show notes for this episode, notes below the title. That's super exciting.
Yeah, come see us in Reno.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. That's coming up so fast. I'm so excited to see the girls again. We've all been writing each other and being like, we're almost there. So it feels weird. You made this, this friendship group. It's so cool. But professional
on the range.
Yes, on the range. Yes, absolutely.
I have to do it all the time.
That's so true. Yes. So what else have you been up to lately? Give us a rundown.
I recently just got back from Europe. I was over there for like a month. I got to go to the IPSC Rifle World Shoot, which is the third one ever held. And the last Rifle World Shoot was the one and only World Shoot I attended and didn't win gold at. I was silver place. My team still won gold, and I still won the shoot off, so it was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
But this year in the old Finland, showed up, had another awesome team. A world shoot is like the action shooting sports Olympics. You try out, you're selected for a team of 4. You all go and compete against the other countries. You do your opening ceremonies, walk in with your flag. It's one of the coolest experiences you can have as a action shooter. So it's also a week. Opening ceremonies, 5 days of competing, 30 courses of fire, and then closing ceremonies and a shoot-off, which is just a man against man. You qualify through the overall placements to stand up, 1 versus 1. It's super fun. I did really good. I was shocked. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but I'm reaching a point in my career that's unknown to me. And every year I have less and less time to prepare. Because when I launched ROSE, that was the understanding that I had. You can't, in my mind, I'm not allowed to be the best in the world at shooting and have ROSE and pour myself into it. It just doesn't work. You can't have 100 and 100. You have it has to be split. So this year particularly, I had 2 matches. I had multi-gun nationals and the IPSC Rifle World Shoot, which were 10 days apart from each other. And I hadn't shot since the last multi-gun nationals. So, 9 months goes by, 10 months goes by, and then I'm like, okay, guys, I'm sending myself to shooting boot camp. And I drove all the way from Utah to South Carolina. Thank goodness I have a teammate like Daniel Horner and Candace, his wife, and they let me just live at their house for about a month and a half. And I sent myself to shooting boot camp because multi-gun nationals and rifle world shoot, and you got to train for them. So I had about 26 days total of training for both the multi-gun nationals, that's rifle, pistol, and shotgun, and rifle world shoot. And it wasn't 26 consecutive days. It was here's your 14 days, here's 11 days on the road, here's the next part, and then you're gone.
Wow.
And that's new to me. When I was only a professional competitive shooter, that's all I did. 200 days a year competing, the rest of the time training. And I gave all I had to be able to win these titles. And now it's I have 26 days, 27 days, what? What am I supposed to do? What? Or what do I expect of myself? And it's wild. It doesn't seem right, but I'm so thankful to have a facility that I can train so hard on, and being able to have Daniel there to help like build me up, and then Jeremy, my boyfriend, to be there to like train alongside me and keep me consistent and help build gear, because I don't like building gear. I don't want to build guns. I want to shoot guns. So doing all that, and yeah, it was enough. It led to me at multi-gun nationals, placing the highest, like breaking my previous overall highest placement at a multi-gun nationals by a woman. I was able to beat that percentage again. So that was awesome. I think this was one of the first times at nationals that I ever had an overall stage win. So that was super cool in my division. And then I was able to go to the rifle world shoot and walk away with the individual gold and then my team winning gold. So I don't know. It's just kind of like just doing, and things are still connected. And I'm like, okay, that's really cool. Yes. I wasn't expecting it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's been a learning process of adjusting expectations.
Yeah.
And like, I've had to work really hard on freeing myself from my expectations, because I'm in unknown territory.
Right.
So I showed up to the rifle world shoot having the least amount of practice that I had ever had going into a world level match with a gun that I hadn't shot. I shot one rifle only prep match, and it wasn't even with the rifle that I was competing with at world shoot. So it's kind of like, it doesn't really carry over. It's just kind of like, I gotta shoot something. I don't know. I gotta do something. I gotta try hard. So I had to really work on freeing myself from expectations, because those will freaking trash you. If you show, oh gosh, yeah, it'll trash you. So I showed up just being like, just gonna shoot. And people be like, ooh, yeah, like who you looking out for? What you gonna do? I'm like, I'm gonna shoot the target.
Right.
And they'd be like, ooh, how was that last time? What are your percentage? I was like, oh, I just shot like, and felt pretty good. So I had to shoot exclusively for myself and completely not care about what anybody else was doing or whatever, which is pretty in line with how I already compete. I'm not a score watcher. I don't believe that I have like some magical second gear that I can like see this 5% gap and be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try harder. It's like, bitch, what you been doing? Like, I've been trying as hard as I could this whole time. I don't have another gear to go into.
Right.
What lies past what I'm doing right now? Out of control. Like, it's like this. So I just shot. And it was good enough. I was super consistent. This was maybe my first match ever, but definitely my first world level match with no penalties.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
30.
Dude, that's huge.
30 courses of fire.
Yeah. No penalties.
Long range paper, which I don't know if there's anything more intimidating than long range paper that you never get to see. Like, they score it down there and they radio back and tell you what your hits are. Like, you just literally lay down and you're like, yeah, and like, that's how you feel. That's how I feel while I shoot long range paper. Yeah, so, and the few long range paper stages absolutely annihilated people. Like, literally, you sat there and watched and you're like, that person just zeroed a 170 point stage. This person just got 40 points on a 170 point stage. This person just got like that. It was all just brutality.
Yeah.
And then I got up there and I survived.
Dude,
I was
yes.
like,
yes.
like, it really was. It was the game changer out there. So yeah. Anyway, it's Rifle World Shoot. I just shot my own game. Shot consistent. None of my stage footage is dazzling. I watch it and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so slow. No. But I was on average like a little bit behind on time, but my points really came through.
Yeah.
But yeah. The very first day was the only day that someone had the lead over me by half a point.
Okay.
And I got it back.
Hell yeah.
And then I kept it.
Yeah.
And I won.
Oh
so
my
it
gosh.
was super cool. I really liked it.
Absolutely. It's really hard to conceptualize what you all go through by just watching your stories. And like even during this time, I know, you know, I've had some things going on that I wasn't really on social as much, but I did see some of your stories. So to see the almost like the fun side of it, the like very summarized small portion, and then to know that it was a week of just brutal stages, 30 stages.
30 of them.
30. I do
30.
I'll do a match every 2 weeks, 6 stages, and I'm like, whoa, okay, wow. So
we're getting wild.
Yeah, pretty much. So to hear this behind the scenes, the mental side of it, and then of course what you guys go through socially as well. I just had J-Lise Williams on. She kind of gave us a peek into that professional life as well. It's really humbling, and it brings an appreciation for the sport that I otherwise wouldn't have. So thank you for sharing the behind the scenes, and for being vulnerable about where you're at right now in your life, because your story is incredible. I know I keep saying that word, but like you've taken time away from, you know, you could just keep doing what you were doing. You could just compete 24/7, devote all your time to that, and instead you're maintaining that. You're still growing there, but you're taking this time to educate thousands of women. I mean, we have almost 20,000 members in the Facebook group.
Yep.
And it's not only people that own ROSE Sig pistols.
Yeah.
It's just women that want to learn more about concealed carry, and they feel safe in a group to come to for questions, and you pop in there and answer questions. Your assistant instructors do. Other women other women that have they have no monetary value from it. They just want to help other women, and
that's cool.
You did that. You did that. Like my favorite thing ever. My sister just had a baby, and he'll do something really cute, and I'll be like, "You made that." Like I tell her that, I'm like, "You made that," and she's like, "I made that. You made this. Like you did this." You know what I mean? And it is impacting everyone everywhere. Like it's
even our security guy last night.
Even our security guy.
That was the cool thing.
Yeah.
At our restaurant we went to, he came up and he was like, "I just want to tell you the ROSE program was super great." And he told me a story about, I think it was his mother-in-law that was like, he didn't know where to direct her or to support her, so he turned her to us and to ROSE. And that's super cool. It's always about just being a resource and being able to bring value to the knowledge and like experience that I already have, because it's been super helpful to me. So now to be able to like repackage it and distribute it to the masses and see the impact that it can have has been really awesome. So
absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for giving us a piece of that today on the podcast. I know there's been a little bit of mystery around the Shoot ROSE event. A lot of people have been like, "Was this a retreat?" I'm like, no, it's actually different. So it's nice to have this episode to kind of give people a reference point, to give them a catch up on what you've been doing, some highlights. Unfortunately, we're at time. You got to get on a plane.
Oh God, already?
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're at time.
So, oh gosh, it is. I do have to catch a plane.
You got to go. So thank you for coming on. Yeah. Everything will be linked in the description if you guys want more, and we'll have to do this again.
Yeah.
Hopefully in person, but if we have to do virtual, we can. Yeah. I'm really excited for Reno. Stay tuned for that, you guys. But yeah, other than that, anything you want to leave off on?
Stay cool, guys.
Stay cool, stay safe, and stay vigilant. We'll see you next time.
SOG knives began with the mission to reproduce the original SOG Bowie knife used by the Special Ops Unit MAC-V SOG. Today, SOG knives are carried with confidence into the most demanding situations. Forged out of tradition, hardened in the field, honed for you, whether you're protecting others or leading an epic hunting expedition, tackling one of life's everyday challenges, or facing your most extreme conditions yet, lead the way with SOG. What began as a single commemorative model soon became a full line of innovative tools, field proven by U.S. Special Forces, even honored as the Navy SEAL knife of choice. I've personally carried SOG knives since I added knives to my everyday carry setup, and have yet to be disappointed by their design and durability. Their craftsmanship is rooted in legacy of honor and courage and is unmatched. With SOG by your side, you are equipped to lead the way, no matter the challenge. So join the ranks of those who dare to push beyond the limits and define their own legacy, and use code SHESHIELD20, that's SHESHIELD 20, to save and to support the pod. Again, that's SHESHIELD20 at checkout.